Divisional round playoff football. San Francisco 49ers versus the Seattle Seahawks. Let's get it. Welcome to the Cayman's Island podcast, where we talk all things San Francisco 49ers. I'm your host, David Cayman, and in today's show, we will be previewing the big divisional round playoff football game between the San Francisco 49ers and the Seattle Seahawks. It's going to be clear skies, 50 degrees, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern start, 5 o'clock Pacific. Just good on good football, y'all. And it's that time of year. Before we jump into this thing, just a few quick injury news and notes. Sam Darnold came up on the injury report with the oblique listed as questionable. Seattle fans don't get too upset. 49ers fans don't get too happy. Reports are that Sam Darnold is going to be fine. He just felt something in practice. Not anything serious. That man's going to play for sure. Quick news and notes on Fred Warner. Unfortunately, he sat out practice today despite playing yesterday in practice. And it looks like the rumors are true. Even though all 49ers fans held out hope, it looks like Fred will be a no-go for this Saturday. However, faithful, if we can pull out this win, man, Fred will make his triumphant return in the NFC Championship game. So let's start breaking this down now. Get into some of my predictions and what I think the Niners can do to pull this one out. So this will be the rubber match, guys, and why I feel things can be different this time around is simply what we saw against the Philadelphia Eagles last week. The Philadelphia Eagles have an aggressive defense, very similar top-tier defense, a lot of big names on that side of the ball. The Niners were able to make necessary adjustments, keep Brock Purdy upright. Even despite not really being able to get a running game going, they were able to make adjustments, make big-time plays down the field, plays when it was needed, scored enough points to pull out the victory. I believe the same recipe for success can happen against Seattle. So let's look at this thing. So first time the Niners played, the Seahawks scored 13 points. Second time the Seahawks played, the 49ers in Santa Clara, still the same result. Seattle could only muster 13 points, and that's despite the fact that they were able to run at will against San Francisco in that second game. So the only thing consistent I can really glean about Seattle is the fact that they really couldn't make any explosive plays downfield, and for the most part, San Francisco was able to control the game in big moments. Now, in the second game, there were some special teams miscues with some missed field goals. The score's a little bit closer than it could have been. But in the first game, the San Francisco 49ers on the road, mind you, in week one, were able to pull out a victory against the Seattle Seahawks, winning that game 17-13. Brock Purdy had 277 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. CMC was able to pull out 142 total yards, 69 rushing, 72 receiving. Jake Tonjes had 3 receptions for 15 yards and a game-winning touchdown toward the end where he just pulled a magnificent snag in front of 2 defenders to pull that one down to ultimately win that football game. Now, you look at this contest, and I think it's going to be very similar. I think CMC is going to have at least 125 yards total offense in this game himself, especially considering we just could not establish anything in the run game last game. With Brock Purdy, 2 interceptions in the first game, 1 interception in the second game. The score of the second game was 13-3. It really could have been 19-3, but there were a couple of field goal miscues. The Niners were held to 173 total yards of offense. What could go wrong went wrong for the Niners in this one. Christian McCaffrey only rushed the ball 8 times for 23 yards, 6 receptions, 34 yards. Brock only had 127 yards passing, and he had a pick on the play where the ball was tipped. McCaffrey kind of bobbled the ball directly into a Seahawks defender. And I know nationally, I look at it today, almost every person on the planet, sports analyst-wise, is picking the Seahawks to win this game. And I get it. A couple of weeks ago, they put it on the Niners, locked that offense down big time. They've got all this additional rest. The Niners do not. They're playing at home, one of the loudest places to play in professional sports, period. So all signs point to this being a tough game for the Niners. And by no stretch do I think this is going to be some cakewalk, easy win. I do believe it's going to be a close game. However, if the 49ers use the same blueprint they used against the Eagles, I feel like that score and the type of game we're going to have is going to be much more closer to week 1 than week 18. Okay, so biggest keys here. And I know George Kittle's out, and that's tough. The first game that we beat Seattle, George went out in the first quarter. He was able to score a touchdown, but he went down in the first quarter with his hamstring. Unfortunately, George tore his Achilles. He's gone for the rest of the season. He won't even be at the field due to his surgery and such. So, unfortunately, George won't be there to have kind of that leadership presence on the sideline. But I'm really optimistic for several reasons. One, I really like the adjustments that Kyle made on offense against the Philadelphia Eagles. We're going to have to stick to a very similar blueprint. I would love to sit here and tell you that in the very beginning, we're going to be able to establish the run. This is the point in the season, guys. This is this rubber match where both of these teams know each other. Seattle's had a bunch of time to review, watch film. It's no secret what Seattle likes to do. It's no secret what the Niners have to do. This is going to be a chess match. And while I would love for Kyle to establish the run, I'm just going to be honest with you guys. The Niners haven't ran well all season long. We are who we are. This isn't going to be one of those games where all of a sudden Seattle's going to forget how to stop the run and all of a sudden the Niners are going to average 7 yards a carry. That's not going to be the case. We're going to have to figure out how to establish the run through short passing and mixing that thing up, putting enough run in there to keep that team thinking about the run. If Seattle is able to do what they did last time and play 2 deep safeties and not have to worry about the run at all, it's going to be another nightmare of a game for the 49ers. I would really like to see them establish a similar offensive flow to the way they did in Philadelphia. You know what? Come out with your best passes, your best short pass game. In the first contest, and this is key, Ricky Pearsall had 4 receptions for 108 yards. I am optimistic and hopeful that Ricky can go again in this one. With his speed being able to go deep down the field, it should be able to spread the field to open up some of that intermediate to short game a lot better, where you can really hit CMC and CMC have a chance to turn around and get upfield for some additional yards after the catch. Guys, it's critical for Brock Purdy not to have a turnover this game. I know that as of late, my man Brock has been good to give the other team one, okay? Even though the last game against Seattle, I thought he did a masterful job of not forcing the issue, a masterful job of not getting irritated and just forcing something in there, going almost an entire game without doing anything whatsoever on offense. So I feel Brock has grown and learned from that, but we can't have any of those mental mistakes or those just throwing the ball directly to the other team type of plays in this one. If we cannot turn the ball over, I'm very confident the 49ers can win this game. I'll give you just a short prediction right now. I don't think the Niners are going to have another game where they only score 3 points. I don't see that happening. I think this is going to be another close game where I feel it's going to come down to that last drive. Can the 49ers not turn the ball over and finally force Sam to do Sam things? Sam Darnold wants to throw the ball to the other team. He wants to fumble the ball. I don't know what it is in big games and playoff games. It's just something that has been a constant. Can the 49ers force a turnover? Can they have a positive turnover ratio? If you think about the Niners in this season and the way this thing has gone throughout the entire year, I would almost say that if the Niners didn't turn the ball over and forced a turnover, they probably won the game. And probably won the game by a touchdown. So can that happen in this one? In the last game the 49ers played, this 13-3 debacle, the Seahawks ran for 180 yards. They were able to run the ball at will. And Jackson Smith and Njigba didn't have some type of 170-yard, 2-touchdown game. We've been able to keep the big plays and the weapons that you think would really dominate the 49ers in the game at bay. Now, unfortunately, the Seattle Seahawks were able to just hold the ball all game, just gut-wrenching drives. The Niners could not get off the field on third down. However, look at what the Niners linebackers were able to do. Look at what Garrett Wallow, Eric Kendricks were able to do in the game against the Eagles, especially in the second half, guys. These two gentlemen combined for 21 tackles, which was a huge difference compared to all the missed tackles. I think there were 17 total missed tackles in the Seahawks game. Look, I like Kenneth Walker III. I do, but he shouldn't be getting himself put on the cover of Madden on our defense. We should be able to set some sort of edge out there and make some tackles. And it was a complete turnaround against the Eagles. And mind you guys, on paper, the Eagles have more superstars, in my opinion, than Seattle, especially on offense. They've got two serious wide receivers in Devonta Smith and A.J. Brown. They've got Goddard at tight end. Saquon Barkley, this man is on the Madden cover. Guys, I know he didn't have a superstar year, but this is a guy that on any down can take it to the house. The Eagles have a great offensive line, great defensive line, great secondary, good linebackers, very similar to what Seattle's working with. And if I could be honest, I know he didn't look it. I've seen Jalen Hurts play great in big games. Look what the man has done in 2 Super Bowls. So if I'm picking somebody that I'm scared of more, it's Jalen Hurts versus Sam Darnold. And I want to be clear, Sam is no scrub. I respect his game. I appreciate the fact that he's been able to resurrect his career through spending time in the Kyle Shanahan system. And what he was able to do in Minnesota, what he's been able to do in Seattle, it's great. I know there are other teams that would take Sam Darnold, but it's just something about Sam in these big games. Even the game where they won 13-3, that crazy little bobble where the ball was just laying on the ground and the 49ers could have picked it up. Just another scenario, an example of what could go wrong, went wrong in that game. It was by far the worst performance of the offense all season long. And I think it's an outlier, guys. I really do. I think this is playoff football. It's a brand new game. You can't really look at or glean anything you can't super big from the first game and the second game to now, other than the teams are who they are. Okay? So this is what I see happening in this one and why I think the 49ers absolutely have a shot in this one. Last week, I was dumb, y'all. I just thought with all the injuries, everything going on, the tough season, how bad we got beat down, really how the locker room looked, man. The players looked after the game. I thought, man, Philadelphia, that was just going to be a bit too much to overcome. For goodness sakes, even George Kittle was like wanting the Panthers to win and not having to see the Philadelphia Eagles because they have all them dudes over there. So in my opinion, if you were to ask George Kittle privately, he'd probably say he would have rather faced the Seahawks than the Eagles, is what I'm thinking. But with all that being said, this is what I see going down in this one. I see a close game, guys. I see it being maybe 17-17. Brock Purdy, last drive, poise in the pocket, dinking and ducking, the ball down the field on the last drive to set up an Eddie Pinheiro field goal to win this one 20-17. I think it's going to be an outstanding game. It's going to be must-see TV. Even if I'm not a fan of the 49ers and Seahawks, this is one that I'm definitely tuning into on Saturday night. It's good on good football. It's defensive genius versus defensive genius. You got Kyle Shanahan out here in his bag against the Eagles last week, putting together plays, doing things that we've wanted him to do for quite some time now. And it's going to be a very good game that I am looking forward to. Again, I have the Niners faithful pulling this one off 20-17. Tell me what you guys think in the comments. What do you feel are the keys to this game? Who do you guys feel that the X factors are in this one? As always, if you like the show today, please remember to like and subscribe. If you happen to bump into another faithful, show them the video, show them the channel. Share. Your support means the world, guys. As always, take care. Be blessed. Go Niners.